looks like this one is showing now a strong, maybe strong correction. It was trending to the downside on Swiss franc strengths. Let's check internals. If we have some positive momentum on at least two cycles, we don't have on the 15 minutes, we don't have on the 5 minutes. We have positive momentum a bit, of course. So, of course, we know we have a retraction, we believe. Bear with us a second. We can only tell we have finished dot five. I believe we have finished, of course, dot five, but we can only tell we have finished. We're not doing. We have finished level 5. That is, if we have momentum rise above that indention into let 4. We have here a dot 1 and dot 2. We have the higher indentions, and then we have internals like a 1 and a 2, something like a 3 and a 4. At this point, and then a 5. I think this is dot 3. We are still going to get a dot 4 and another dot 5, unfortunately. I believe so. And then we get another dot 5 and becomes the end of that 3, becomes the end of that 5. So this does a 4, this does a 5. We can do a lot of some good swings here, some good trades. Once we have negative momentum showing back on the 5 and 15 minutes, we take the short to that dot 4 all the way down to 0.84. At that point, I believe we're right now at 0.85, 20s, and such high levels. So it's about 200 points again back to the downside. At some point, once we finish that dot 3, we finish the 3 altogether. The move probably has expired. Fundamentals would have finished. We have finished 5 swings into 3. The higher degree frame, of course, shows that this is end of leg C and the end of a higher degree C, and everybody knows the rest of the story. And we do a very long. We don't want to get into this at this point because the fundamentals are not for it, are really against it. Are we going to get dollar reversal back strengths into dollar reversal? Is still an open fundamental question. So the best trade to take if you wish to trade the Swiss dollar against Swiss franc is to wait for that retraction back into 4. I am using fib retractive projections from the top of 2 at this point. There's a 1 and a 2, of course, and a 3. From the top of 2 all the way down to the bottom of 3, and that force should be 61.8, for instance. If we have reversion back into negative momentum on the 5 and 15 minutes on 0.83, 8630, 0.8587 at 50%, 61.8%, we take the short and we still have another leg into dot 5 down to finish 3 and to finish 3 altogether, high degree 3, and to finish that 5 in Roman italic. I will not go again into how to take the trigger. I believe now everybody knows what to look for and how to do it. So you just want to look for negative momentum on the 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes. Take the short to the downside, down to the market bottom again. Right now we have a bit of a correction to the upside. It's an ending diagonal like all other structures that we've been looking at. And there is a trigger. There's a 1 and a 2, breakout into a 3. Should we take the trigger? It's either we take this trigger or we take sterling yen trigger, or we take dollar yen trigger. Whichever one is your preference, we take it. We always have to be on the short-term trending direction, even if it's just a corrective trend, because surprises can happen, like Federal Reserve intervention, for instance. Dollar could suddenly strengthen on risk aversion, breakout of a conflict. All right, and the long can go a long way. The long doesn't really have to reject a 0.8630 like we're projecting. Can go at that point a long way. Fundamentals, of course, drive the market. So it's always good to be on what apparently is the short-term sentiment, because it can develop into something larger. If we take, of course, the long, short term, it must be half size, and the stop is just below the market bottom, 0.8430. The entry is about 0.8530 or 8520 at this point, and target, of course, like we have been showing on this 45 minutes. Can leave an open target, especially during the Eastern session. But after the Eastern session, you won't have a fixed target. Or if you find negative momentum showing on the 3 and 2 and 5 minutes, you want to close out, attempt target at 86.80, 0.8677 is showing here, 0.8632.